everyone. We are here in Zurich, finally here in real life for the ICP 30-year anniversary, and I have two special people with me. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, sure, I can go first. So my name is Matthias, and I'm the founder of the Magic Conch Shell project on ICP.
My name is Sebastian, and I'm the founder of AlpacaFi on ICP as well.
Yeah, so we're just going to have a conversation today about DeFi, meme coins, everything. But first, let's kind of talk about our projects. Matthias, you can start and talk about Magic Conch Shell, what's going on.
Yeah, sure. So Magic Conch Shell is basically a DEX tools project on ICP, and by extension of that, a project to allow people to trade easier and efficiently, without needing to jump through a bunch of hoops like going through multiple DEXs. Our primary DApp is MCS Scan, which is going to be releasing in June, and that allows users to trade and sell tokens on any DEX on ICP, including Sonic, ICP Swap, and more.
And a bit about AlpacaFi. AlpacaFi, we're basically just like the coin market cap for ICP. So our goal is to basically get like an all-in-one place with a nice and easy-to-use user experience for users to be able to like track all your tokens and also track your portfolios and everything you want, all within like one simple mobile app in your phone that you can like access anywhere.
Yeah, so AlpacaFi is live right now on Android and Apple, but let's first talk about like the state of ICP DeFi and everything, because I think these two projects, in my personal opinion, I believe that DeFi and meme coins is what rules and runs crypto. I think it's kind of an objective take also, because if you just look at like the top dApps on every chain is they're all DeFi's, the DEXs, the borrowing and lending, stuff like that, and both your guys' projects are things that people actually use and stuff. So let's the state of ICP DeFi, I've kind of made videos about this, but we're kind of in a spot where it's not completely well furnished, but projects like AlpacaFi and MCS are coming up and building out the ICP DeFi. So what are your guys' like thoughts on ICP DeFi right now?
I'd say it's in its infancy, or at the very start of something big. We have a very good foundation now on ICP compared to even where we were a year ago, for instance. But I think there's still a lot more to be built out compared to Solana or other chains, for instance, that are sort of in a similar position. And I think we can really build out ICP more to match the same level of complexity that can be found on other chains as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like Matthias said, it's very early, but we have the technology, we have the performance, we have everything. So there's definitely potential to keep growing a lot more than where we currently are.
Yeah, and I think what it means, like, because you're probably listening to that and you're like, yo, what the fuck? That sounds bearish. But like, what it means for you guys who are watching is that like you're basically you're early to something, and I think the capabilities. I think we'll kind of talk about it for the Chain Fusion, and tomorrow in Zurich there's going to be a talk about Chain Fusion. We saw the Bitcoin integration, we saw the Ethereum integration, and there's a Solana integration that's coming out soon, which is huge. But there's capabilities that the internet computer is able to do that Solana and these other chains aren't able to do. I think our DeFi has the most potential.
Yeah.
It's just getting built out right now, but what it means for you as an investor is you're able to invest in these projects and basically get in super fucking early. That's kind of the idea behind it. And also, let's talk a little bit recently. I'm sure both you guys saw that EXE ran super, super hard. It's it's been the biggest meme coin in ICP. Recently, I think it ran from like what 50 cents to like $1.50. I think it's about like 120 right now. Really glad to see people. I saw one guy made 30 grand off it, another guy made 20 grand, which is super bullish to see that people are making money in the ecosystem. And I think I've kind of been talking about this on Twitter very vocally that we're going to see a big pivotal shift in the ICP ecosystem. That I believe the biggest projects that are going to come out are going to be the DeFi and the meme coins. But what are your guys' opinions on meme coins, especially you? Because I think you should tell them how you got into ICP in the first place and everything. Tell them your story.
So I'm still relatively new to ICP, but the way I got here is through a friend. He's the founder of the meme coin called Disney. That's how he got me in, and I found myself somehow into Aaron's Telegram channel, IC Pumpers.
Yes.
My whole journey basically in ICP started with meme coins, and it's been great. There's been a few things that like not only EXE, but even like for smaller ones such as Wumbo or Damonic, they've been growing very quickly, and they have a very strong community behind them, and so it's very bullish. And I think there should be like a good focus and support on those kind of projects, either meme coins and also DeFi products. Those should be getting like some really good support from.
Yeah, and it's funny because I kind of want to tell a story of how I found Alpaca. So I was, obviously, not obviously, because some of you guys are maybe not in the Telegram, which you should be in it because it's the most active group chat in ICP, and it's where a lot of stuff is happening. People are up pretty big on, good plays. But anyways, besides that, I made the Telegram back in January. I think basically the day after ICP pumped, I'm like, I should make a group chat because my friend Lucas, aka Blockchain Boy, had a Telegram, and I'm like, his was doing super well, and I'm like, I'm gonna make a Telegram too for ICP. So I made it, and it blew up. Like I did not expect to get this big, and there was basically a big run of just people making a ton of projects and everything, like basically a big shitcoin rally. And I remember Alpaca was the first project to come out that was like, it actually had tech backed it. I remember it launched, I was actually asleep, so it launched, I don't know how I remember this, but I think you launched at like 1 a.m. Eastern time. And I woke up the next morning at 8 a.m., I checked my phone, I checked the group chat, and everyone's spamming Alpaca, 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 and I'm like, all right, and then I see the bot, because you launched it with the bot, and I was like, oh shit, this is real. Like it was, even though it was just a Telegram bot, I'm like, then I went to the website, I think you had put out a website, and I was like, oh wait, this is actually gonna like end up being a massive, massive project and everything, because up until then, I had just been a bunch of meme coins, and meme coins are great, but it was, you were the first one to really like come out of the Telegram with something that had like a legitimate like working technology, I guess. But
yeah.
What was your thought process behind that when you launched it? Because you did a great job.
It was first of all coming through. There was a few things on the Telegram channel that a project that launched, such as launched, but they were like ended up being scams, like ICN promised something similar, and they completely disappeared and took everyone's money. So I thought it was like, what if I try to build something similar but actually build it and actually deliver it? So that's how we got started with the Telegram bot, which was an ICPI like tracker sniper for new tokens. And then mostly the way we transitioned into the AlpacaFi app, it was mostly also due in some part to personal need. So personally, like there wasn't like a really, like a good place, like sort of easy to use place to track all your tokens, because like even like the smallest tokens and whatever new meme coin has just released, so yeah, that's mostly how it came to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think the great part about the Telegram is if you're a founder, this is a little alpha for you, but if you want to know where the actual feedback is and where like criticism is, it's in my fucking Telegram. I mean, the people in my Telegram, if you look at it, they're very, very, very critical, but you can, if you're able to not be basically, don't be a fucking pussy, and you're able to be objective, you can look at it and be like, hey, maybe they're right, and you're able to, the main thing that AlpacaFi solved was everyone was bitching, hey, on the DEXs, it's very hard to see the charts. There's no good place to find the charts, and there's obviously no mobile app for the charts. So it was like, well, duh, let's just, you're like, let's just make the mobile app. But you see in the Telegram what you need, because they're telling you, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, ICP's bad at this, it's bad at this, and, and you're able to go in there and basically say, all right, we'll do this, this guy, they're all saying the same things. It's like pretty reoccurring themes.
No, yeah, and because you're building something that like that community's actually going to use and they need. They're usually super helpful, to give you feedback. So even if there's either like positive or negative, like we like this, we don't like this, so that's something you can easily start getting from a Telegram group and and build up on that and make improvements to the app and whatever based on what your users need.
Yeah, like I will say the group chat is like it's a little bit hostile, but like if you're a founder, you can go in there and say, hey, I just released my DApp. What do you guys think? And honestly, if you get shit on, it probably means your thing's shit. Like they're very honest, and it might offend you, and it might, but they'll, they get valid, all the time, in the Telegram, they'll come in and say, hey, Sebastian, can you please implement this, or can you please fix that? And it's really good customer feedback, because one of the things you're going to have to do with your startup is actually listen to the community and what their needs are, because at the end of the day, you're not building it to serve yourself, you're building it to serve other people, so you should probably be listening to other people. But now let's talk about MCS and you launching MCS and everything.
Yeah, good question. So MCS sort of had similar beginnings to Alpaca, but more in the realm of like a desktop web app. It was a very simple like charting tool. The idea was to implement TradingView onto ICP, because it's very common for things like DEX tools, for instance. So what that evolved into eventually to sort of move past like just price charts, we were looking into becoming a DEX aggregator. That was actually something that came up when I was trading myself, when I was going between IC Lighthouse, ICP Swap, and Sonic, and I was thinking to myself, why isn't there a DEX aggregator for this yet? If it exists on Ethereum, like Solana, everything like that, like it should be able to be made on ICP. And then I just took the project in that direction, and it's going great so far.
Yeah, I'm super, super excited for MC scan when it's going to come out and all the stuff that's in store and everything. And the way I found about his project, because people always ask me this, like, you know, but it was in the pumpers chat. I don't know if you remember this, but they were all spamming MCS at one point. It was like brutal.
GIF of SpongeBob.
Yeah. It was like the SpongeBob GIF of like the SpongeBob doing like the thing or whatever. I don't know, but everyone was spamming and they're spamming MCS, and I was like, oh, it's just like the next shitcoin, whatever. But then what really caught my eye was VP. If you know who VP is, shout out to you. But VP basically sent me your thing, and he was like, what's this, you know, and I was like, oh, this looks pretty interesting. So then I reached out to you and everything, and we got connected and stuff. But now let's talk about, what are you guys like looking, when it comes to just ICP in general, what makes you so interested in the chain? I mean, I can talk about, I feel like I don't need to talk about why I'm so interested, because I made a fucking 1,000 videos. We're kind of making this for you guys. Like, what are you like bullish on when it comes to ICP? They just came out with a roadmap. Like, what are you looking forward to this year for like just the chain in general?
So generally, what I've been working on, or like what I've been seeing, and what I'm really excited about is the performance that's able to be extracted from like canisters and everything's going on. Like the technology compared to other chains, it's from what I've seen and from what I've been able to experience, it's a lot better than other chains, a lot faster, a lot snappier, and everything's working better. So, like even right now, recently they've started running AI models on chain, so which is something that's, I believe it's not being able to be done on any other chain, from what I believe. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and obviously the DeFi side's also been great because there's a lot of support, but there still needs to be a bit more of that. So
yeah. So I really am looking forward to Chain Fusion and that being built out a lot more. I feel like I talk about this a lot, but it's because I'm really passionate about it, and I think it's a great special part of the internet computer's identity. On top of having Solana, like Solana doesn't have native CK Bitcoin integrated into their chain, and by being able to build on-chain key technology and incorporate more chains into ICP, it can become its own thing, just like Ethereum, as well as sharing special traits like cross-DEX swaps or cross-chain swaps, for instance, that you'd see on Solana or Polygon, for instance. That's a pretty good example.
Yeah, Chain Fusion, or it used to be called ChainKey, but it's called Chain Fusion now, which in my personal opinion, I don't know what you guys think, but I think it was a good pivot brand-wise. I think ChainKey to like normies is kind of like, I don't get this, but Chain Fusion makes sense, you know, they're fusing. So I think that was a good pivot by DFINITY changing that. But it was actually the first thing that initially got me into ICP back in 2021 when the Bitcoin integration. I think everyone saw when ICP launched in 2021 because it launched at number 3. So I had bought into ICP at I'd probably put like a couple $100 in at like $200 or something. So those trades have not cleared yet. But I remember it was in December of 2021 when DFINITY first announced the Bitcoin integration. That's what really made me go like, what is actually going on here? Because the whole thing, when I first looked into ICP, at the time I actually didn't know much about crypto, but I was like, man, this sounds super confusing. It sounds cool though. But that was kind of the first thing that got me excited, and I'm really super glad that a chain fusion with Solana is becoming, because Solana, has done tremendous this bull run. And I think ICP, despite some of the community not being too nice to the Solana guys, there's a lot of lessons to be learned from Solana when it comes to having good DeFi and then also meme coins as well. I think one of my favorite parts about both the Alpaca and the MCS brand is the fact that they're good. They're good brands. They're kind of a hybrid between they're real technology companies, but they also have a solid brand like MCS, and it's like a Magic Conch, and then it's like an Alpaca. So it's like it's a good hybrid. But you see in Solana how people are just bidding these fucking meme coins. We recently just saw in the past couple of days EXE going up, and I think we're going to continue to see that trend keep playing out. I don't think there's any. I think meme coins are basically in a super cycle. I've been talking about this for a while. I was involved in a near meme coin. Basically, that was when the first time I worked in Web3 back in 2022. I worked for the biggest meme coin, near Nico. Back then, it wasn't worth shit. But I think we have a ton of room to grow when it comes to DeFi and stuff. When it comes to meme coins, I'm starting to my questions are starting to get a little rough here because I didn't fucking make any questions. But let's talk about some of the meme coins. Let's talk about we can talk about Wumbo.
Oh yeah, Wumbo. So that project, I was blown away by how much traction it gained so quickly on ICP. Also, like Dominic too is another example of this. And I think it's a great window into like showing people what ICP, like specifically like the meme community can do, because I feel like meme coins on ICP, they were very hit or miss up until recently, where some of them they would like go off, but a lot of times, especially during the bear market with ICP, when the price was like going down to like even like $3, it was very difficult for people to actually launch their meme coins on ICP when they could launch it on Solana or Ethereum and get more volume. But to show people to have these like living projects with great people behind them, to be able to succeed on ICP as a meme project is like a huge indicator of where we're going in general, basically.
Yeah, what's your opinion?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention about Dominic too, because I remember the launch for those, because there were two Dominics at the time, remember?
Dominique and Dominic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so God. It was great, because it was like two very strong communities with very strong views as to why each Dominic is better. So that was definitely pretty fun. And there's been a few players like that have taken off, and but yeah, I'd say it's been good. It's been good. I think we're starting to get a lot more meme coins that are starting to get more love and support from not only the public but also their developers. They're not just being left to die, so which is pretty good for the community too.
Yeah, and I heard Ansem say this, and this has kind of been the general thesis for meme coins in general, but if you just go out and you talk to people who are not in crypto, they always talk about fucking Dogecoin. I don't know why, but it's always Bitcoin, and they're like, oh, the dog coin that Elon Musk talks about. So, and also I think meme coins are a great way to onboard people, because you'll go and you'll find Dominic, you'll find EXE, you'll find, Wumbo Clown, whatever it is, and then you'll find the great dApps, and you'll actually use the technology and the DeFi behind that, and you'll really, go down the rabbit hole and everything. Because I think it's like, it's kind of difficult to sell some of these normies on just some of these dApps in general. I think for DeFi it's pretty easy, because it's like, hey, we're here to make fucking money. But for some of these other apps, like SocialFi, it may not be as appealing as you may think to normies, unless they're like, diehard libertarians. But these meme coins can be a great way to get into the ecosystem and go from there. And also, I kind of want to talk about what are some advice you could give to like people? Because I know we're not running meme coins, but what is some like advice you could give to people running projects? You go first.
Yeah, I would just say stay consistent with the work you're doing, even if it's like a meme coin. I see like the best meme coin creators are always engaging with the community, and by extension of that, even like projects with dApps or people that are like developing projects on ICP. Being able to show that you're able to put out consistent good work like puts you leagues above everyone else. You don't even need to be like the best from the start. You just need to show people that you're able to put out consistent work and provide value to people in one way or another, and people will respect you for it. They'll love it. They'll come to your community. You'll hear lots of great feedback as well. That's another thing. Always listen to the feedback from the community, because personally, I believe there's always ways to do certain things better. They just haven't been discovered yet. And sometimes just going through Telegram or on Twitter and just reading through people's feedback, it's immensely helpful. And I honestly don't even think MCS would be where it is right now without people constantly, giving feedback, input, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that was mostly it, and I just wanted to add that also in regards to feedback. Yeah, feedback is great. Always be engaging with your community. Listen to what they're saying, talk back, and give them updates. Something that's also pretty important is being able to take the feedback. It's not always going to be positive feedback, because sometimes when you're building and you're developing your own project, you get engaged. You get sort of blinded and you think it's perfect as a developer. Like what you're building is great, but you're not the only one that's going to be using it, right? The community's going to be using it, so you have to be able to also take feedback, even if it's negative feedback. Like, don't take it personally. It's not for you. Mostly, sometimes it might be, but mostly it's not. Mostly it's to try to improve your product. So yeah, take the feedback and make it better, improve everything as much as you want.
Yeah. So like, kind of what we're saying here. If they're like calling you like ugly or something, that probably doesn't matter. But if they're like, they're saying like, hey, this needs to be changed, or this or that, or maybe this doesn't actually work, that's probably some stuff you should maybe take into account. Now I have another question, because something that the IC has kind of struggled with in the past like 3 years or something, but it's starting to change now because the price is going up, because of course developers need to be incentivized. But I I have a personal opinion on it, but I kind of want to hear what you guys have to say first. Like, why should developers come and build on the IC? So we'll start with you, Matthias.
Yeah, I'd say because it's just faster. Like Ethereum, like I came specifically from Ethereum, and everything like is counted in minutes, which is like very bizarre for me. Being able to develop on ICP removes a lot of limitations, like specifically latency, and being able to host dApps on like live web time is unbelievably massive. For my project, you're able to pull in like pricing charts. Sebastian, he's able to, pull in pricing charts basically in real time. And by extension of that, it's not just limited to pricing charts. It's basically like developing on Amazon Web Services, but decentralized, if I were to put it simply.
Yeah, no, and exactly. And it also gives like, if you want to be developing something, users, there's a low barrier of entry in terms of, fees and yeah. So when you're making trades, when your users are using your app, you're not going to be spending a lot of money on fees. It's going to be pretty much free. So yeah, and performance-wise, it's also great.
Yeah, and I think also even just beyond like creating dApps and stuff, if you're somebody who's like, oh, I want to make a meme coin, I think one of the, the big reasons I think someone should be developing the IC when it comes to, because at the end of the day, like you gotta, make money to pay for food and pay for whatever. So it's like you have to make money. But like there's a ton of upside in market share here because there's some, as you said, DeFi is in its infancy. There's a lot of room for people to come in and build, and also for meme coins as well. I think there's a ton of room for people to come in. You don't need to be a dev to make a meme coin. You can just launch one on, MCSN or whatever and go from there and just run a Twitter page. Also, another thing, to all you guys who are running projects out there, you got to have someone on the social media manager putting out content. But you got to have somebody who's like always putting out content and giving updates and stuff, because if nobody hears about your shit, then nobody's going to care. You can make the best product ever, but if literally nobody hears about it, then it's never going to be heard and stuff. So you want to make sure people are hearing and stuff. But I don't really have anything else. I'm starting to run out of fucking questions. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Because I'm starting to run out of ideas.
Not really in particular.
I feel like you have something to say, so say it.
All right, yeah. I was gonna say, personally, I just feel like even if you are like a meme coin, or you're not really like planning on developing on the internet computer, there's still so much that you can actually provide in terms of like using the dApps on the ICP are free. You don't need to pay gas on your end. You could even just set up a Telegram. You can set up an OPENCHAT. Just allow people to sort of build communities on their own, and I think that's a huge part of ICP. We have so many like diehard fans of people who really like back the project, me included. That's why I'm building on there, and everyone in this room, of course. So I really think it's the future, and I think it shouldn't be looked past just because of the current state in its development. And I want people to sort of see the opportunity that being this early can bring, especially for a chain like this with this level of technology. It's like mind-blowing to me.
Right, yeah. And also because of the infancy, like the state of infancy that the internet computers right now on, we're not getting 100 new projects per day. So the chance of you being noticed, if you're building something good and the chance of you being noticed by everyone else and by getting the word out, it's going to be a lot greater than if you went to build into an already established and bigger blockchain. So I think that's also a good incentive for people coming. So.
Yeah, and also if you're a founder, as Sebastian and Matthias we kind of talked about, another great marketing channel is my Telegram. As I said, basically the whole DeFi community is pretty much, the whole trading community is basically my Telegram, and you can go in there and you can show your fucking project. And then you'll get some real-time feedback from people. It could be negative, it could be positive, you'll figure it out. We'll see. But I also, while Matthias was talking, I came up with my last question, I guess. What can we expect or like look forward from for MCScan and Alpaca? I guess we'll start for you.
Yeah, the only thing I can really talk about is the upcoming release in June. I have a lot more planned that's coming, but I can't really talk about that yet. So watch out for June. It's coming soon. I promise. And yeah.
No, we're also soon to be releasing our next update. I've already mentioned this on ICP Hubs, but it's basically just it's going to be giving the users the ability to get notifications for tracking different tokens. So yeah, this is no secret. It's been mentioned before. It's not been I haven't been mentioning it too much, but it's been mentioned already. So that's one of the main things coming up on the next update. So yeah, keep an eye for that.
Yeah, and shout out Longtran, the back end of Alpaca, and shout out Ahmed, the front end of MCS.
Yeah, Abdullah, yeah.
Yeah, Abdullah.
Yeah.
Fuck, my bad, bro. But yeah, and last thing I guess is where can they find MCS and Alpaca? So like socials.
Yeah. So on Twitter you can find us at MCS_ICP, or you can just go to our website mcs.wtf, and then you'll have the links like right at the top.
So yeah, for Alpaca, you can find us both on Telegram or Twitter, alpacafy_ICP, or on our website alpacafy.xyz, which is getting a rework pretty soon too. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll put the links to all this. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll put the links down there. If it's on Twitter, I'll tag them, so you should be able to click on it. But I think these are two guys I think are going to be a core part in ICP for decades to come. I'm super, super bullish on these two. I think they have massive potential. I think the projects are absolutely going to dominate this cycle and dominate for decades to come. Super, super bullish. But yeah, if you enjoy this, make sure to like, subscribe, shill your friends these coins and everything. Do your part. I never let a good shill go to waste. But yeah, that's all I got. Like the video, and yeah, thank you for watching.